What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a college video, which I haven't done in a while, mostly because I just graduated, so honestly it's a little bit weird making a college video because I'm like done with it and I should kind of move on to the next phase. However, seeing as that college is kind of coming up soon, I still have friends in college and I have some perspective. So I feel like what I can offer to those incoming freshmen might be rather different than most of the what to pack for college videos out there. So I made a list of things, definitely not what you're used to, except for maybe a couple. But yeah, I guess we'll get right into it. By the way, this is gonna be straight and to the point. I've been through 4 years of college. Highly recommend you get pretty much everything on this list, especially if you're a freshman, because if I had a lot of these things when I was a freshman, I don't know, it just would have been better. It would have been so much better. Very first thing, and actually I said this in my last video, this is not new or revolutionary or anything. You need a shower caddy because you go to the shower. This is obviously especially if you're living in a dorm. But if you're living in an apartment or something like that, you might want to have a shower caddy because you're probably poor and sharing a bathroom with multiple people. Recommend the shower caddy. I linked that, and by the way, everything else below, so check that out. The next thing is theme clothes. But I'm gonna be, most people say, you know, bring wacky stuff to wear at college, but I'm gonna bring the angle that bring theme clothes unless, and you can Google your school and see like what is around it, but the chances are you probably have a thrift shop. Thrift shops, you probably do have one around your campus. If you do, there's really no need to bring any weird clothes unless you're just dying to bring some outfit that you got specifically for this, or you've had it for years and you've been waiting to break it out at your first frat party or sorority thing. Whatever, just you know, check to see if there's a thrift shop around you before you go and pack your onesies and all that stuff, because you could save some space and pack stuff that you actually need. Next thing, and this is where it actually gets useful, Amazon Prime student membership. I'm pretty sure it's like 50 bucks and you're probably overpaying for college anyway, so you might as well spend the $50 on Amazon Prime, because there's gonna be so many times at school where you just need something you just didn't realize and you don't want to go to the store and get it. And I used Amazon Prime for all the basics too, like table, bed frame. I have gone to bed on Amazon. The mattress foam stuff. Why spend so much time at Bed Bath & Beyond when you can just go to college, see what everyone else has, see what you really need, and then just prime it to your dorm or your house, wherever you're living. And now that you have Amazon Prime, everything else here is going to be easier, because I'm pretty sure you can get everything here on Amazon. The next one's gonna be a book, okay? And this is where this video turns from loser college advice to veteran college advice. And the book is called The 80-20 Principle. If you get this book and you actually read it and apply it, and you start just getting creative of how you can apply the principle, the very simple principle in this book to everything college, whether it's your friends, your grades, your teachers, your entire living situation, and your social life and your experience in general. If you can do that, your experience is going to be 1,000 times better. The 80-20 principle, it's by a guy named Richard Koch, or I don't know how to say his last name, K-O-C-H, something like that. Just to give you some like practical ideas about how you can actually use the book for studying for tests, okay? If you read this book, you will, and you can get the basic idea, which I'll share with you now, is that there's only a few things that actually matter in life that produce the majority of the results. So for example, if you are studying for a test, most of the tests I took in college, I wasted so much time studying stuff that didn't matter. And if you only study the stuff that matters, then you're going to get a much better grade. So the next thing is how else you can apply this is with actually studying for the tests. So this is something I didn't figure out until like the end of my junior year. But like once I figured it out, I was like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. Once you get like the basic test format, which is essentially memorization, there's only a few ways of studying for you that are actually going to help you memorize the information. So for me, it was flashcards, and I realized that I had been wasting so much time in study groups and, you know, rereading the textbook, or like taking notes and reviewing my notes. Like, and again, it will vary from class to class and based on the type of way you learn. But for me, it was flashcards. And once I figured that out, my studying time decreased and my results on my test scores went way up. Like I remember how much I studied freshman year and got actually not the best grades. Granted, I was going out a ton compared to like end of my junior year and senior year where I studied very little and I got pretty much straight A's. The next one I would say is, let's see, note taking. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna squeeze this in with another one I have on the list to actually bring to college, to pack, and that is note taking. When you go to college, most people think you need a notebook for every class and you need to like maybe take notes on iPad and your laptop and you have all this shit. And it's so confusing and impossible to organize. And you're just completely disorganized actually, which is ironic because you go to Staples or whatever store you buy your stuff at. Don't buy a million notebooks. Take everything with a grain of salt. I'm just saying this is what worked for me. But what I did is I ended up after like 2.5 years of college, I finally discovered that you only really need one notebook with maybe a few dividers. Again, depends on who you are, how you learn. Maybe you love taking notes. Maybe you're super organized. Maybe you need one of those like a different type of notebook if you're in like chemistry or something like that. But for me, I was in a communication school degree, which is a lot of writing and, you know, liberal arts type stuff. So all I really needed was one notebook with dividers between the sections. I filled it up each semester and then I got a new one at the end. And this, for me, was just the most effective way to keep track of my stuff and also actually comprehend what I was learning. Because the worst way to lose what you learn is to actually lose your notebooks. And that's what ends up happening when you buy too many. So I recommend buying one and, you know, bringing it everywhere. This is gonna really 80-20 your lifestyle in that way. The next one, I would say, how you can apply 80-20 to school is to actually read the syllabus. And my mom is walking out the door right now. She's a college professor and she's smiling, I can tell when I say this, because college professors absolutely love their syllabus. They love it. What I highly recommend doing is actually reading it. During the first week of college, syllabus week, like the first week of each semester, most people just go out and party. And yes, you should do that. I recommend. However, you should also do probably the most important thing you can do while you have the excessive willpower of being like a first semester student. You know, you get into college and you're so motivated to just do stuff, to study a ton, like you have all your stuff organized and you're like ready to do homework. Trust me, take that motivation first thing, go to the classes, look at the syllabus stuff and apply 80-20. Actually look at the breakdown, like read the whole syllabus for each class. Look at the breakdown for like what is most important. There's gonna be breakdown like the test final exam is 30%, midterm is 20%, homework is 10%, participation 15%, and it breaks it all down. Look at this stuff and also look at like what is expected of each assignment. Because there's probably, like, just looking back, my freshman, sophomore year, I spent definitely way too much time on stuff that not only didn't matter that much, but that the teacher didn't care about. And that's the next thing. Your teacher, your professor, is going to, within their syllabus that they created, probably have like 20% of it that they really, really care about. And that could be like a particular section in the course. That could be a specific type of assignment. Maybe like one teacher really cares about the online homeworks, but at the same time, they don't care about the written reflection at the end of class or whatever. Really figure out what is the most important thing to your professor. And this is like a major 80-20 tip in general. Get to know your professor and like actually figure out what within the course they are super passionate about. Most college professors are pretty passionate about at least something related to what they're teaching. Maybe not the whole course, but there's gonna be something. Figure out what that is and vibe with them on it. Get connected with them on that particular subject and they're just gonna, honestly, that's almost a guaranteed A. Like if you can connect with your teacher on what they love teaching within the course, you're gonna do well, they're gonna look out for you. The TAs are gonna look out for you. Like, connect with the TAs too, because a lot of time they grade your work. Next one we have is another book. Okay, this is good for the social stuff, for making friends, and I've recommended before, but get it and read it. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And this book is extremely fun to read and also effective. And if you just read it and apply it in combination with 80-20, I'll explain that in a second, you're going to have an amazing social life. Read How to Win Friends and Influence People to just understand how to get people to like you, and it's basically genuine ways to get people to like you. And if you don't know how to do that, you know, that's important in life and in business and school and everything, and you're just fun in general. But with 80-20, you can look at like all the people in college, because there's so many new people you don't know, and you can kind of look at them from a third person perspective and be like, all right, who do I want to be friends with? Generally speaking, I think you should be friends with everyone in college. Like, you should be able to connect with people from different social groups and cultures and backgrounds and locations around the world. But at the same time, you should also like pick who are your closest friends wisely, because, you know, depending on the type of stuff you're into and this type of stuff you want to achieve, and, you know, who you want to be, the people you surround yourself with the most are going to pretty much essentially be the average of who you become. We went over the one notebook rule. All right, the next two, so first, I recommend getting Audible. This is not a sponsor. This is a genuine tip. And I'm not saying Audible to read self-development stuff. I'm saying Audible, which is, if you don't know, it's a audiobook service where you can buy books. I, in my third, fourth year of college, read most of my like required reading for literature classes and even history classes. I read most of the books I had to read in my ears. I just listened to them. You know, I might be an audio learner, but what I found is that like you can multitask with this. So rather than like actually going in your room and dedicating an hour to reading and underlining text, you can download Audible, pay $15 a month, and with that you get a free book, and you can go for a stroll on your campus. You can work out. You can, you know, I don't know, lay in your campus green and just listen to your book. And it makes a college experience so much less of a pain, especially because you probably, if you're watching this, you probably hate reading. And trust me, like, learning to get into the habit of listening, although at first it might be difficult to comprehend, over time you'll develop your comprehension ability, and it'll just be way easier to get over the hurdle of doing your homework, because you can do it while you walk to class, while you're eating in the, you know, cafeteria or whatever. And the very last one, this is probably going to be somewhat controversial, but I really think the college system is a little bit messed up, having graduated and seeing, you know, what it actually offers compared to what it actually is. It is, in the words of my friend Jackson, a 4-year purgatory to really mess up and be as big of a degenerate as you possibly can before you have to join the real world. But at the same time, it doesn't really offer you like the one most important understanding lesson, rule in life, and that is the fact that you can compose your dream reality. And hey, maybe you know what that is. Maybe it is to be a doctor, lawyer, whatever. But trust me, they don't teach you this, and that is anything that has to do with the law of attraction. I don't think I encountered a single class where we even mentioned it. And so I highly recommend you check stuff out related to that. There's a book that I'm currently reading that's free on YouTube that you can listen to. You can also get it on Amazon. I linked this down below. It's called Tufty, the High Priestess. It's super weird and out there, but just read it and have fun with it, and eventually you'll get it. If you want a more simple book on this stuff, The Secret is really good, by Rhonda Burns, I think her name is. Think and Grow Rich, another good one. And like, just take these books, like read them all the time, get the physical copies, just consume yourself in this stuff, and start to subscribe to the worldview of law of attraction and spirituality at least a little bit. Because, you know, so many people I saw struggled through college, and if they just understood this basic principle, like, they would have so much less stress. It's just the one thing I wish I could offer and just make mandatory at college. But, like, of course, people don't want you to know this stuff. Seriously, or maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe they don't know that they don't want you to know it. I don't know. I know in the olden times they would like burn you at the stake if you shared this information. So, I guess check it out and don't tell too many people like I am. But anyway, yeah, main focuses for college and what you should bring. I know I didn't like give you legitimate things to bring. I did have a video a couple years back about like actual necessities, like physical things. These are more like meta things to bring. But overall, have fun, make friends, laugh a lot, and don't take yourself too seriously. Like, study, but not too much. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments, and that's it.
Rose gold seat on a fucking helicopter, double C, no Chanel, cause she's bad, bad, bad. Riding Kawasaki like a cup, you a new Rari, let you ride it, know you're rap, and you're bad, bad, bad.